Otherwise, it would just be ons back onto the Zarya. But let's go ahead, jump in. Sanctuary will be starting us off yet again. And yeah, a lot of fans here for MVP.
MVP is a team that's always trying to challenge fans' expectations every season. From season 1 of Apex to now our 7th season of Korean Overwatch here. Starting the season off with interviews saying, this is our season, this is the one. Please continue to support us, and always saying, I'm so glad you guys have stuck with us. And it's ironic to see MVP a really kind of what's been an org that finds good players and then sells them to other orgs, historically speaking in esports, is finding their greatest success at the end here rather than the beginning of Overwatch history. Not that Overwatch is going anywhere, but like
what are you implying, Wolf?
In recent times, right? So I'm excited to see if they can keep that momentum up. A very crushing victory here would at least keep our expectations level after that first series.
We'll just be mirrored here off the bat. 3-3 going to be coming out. Undyne in the back, spamming away, looking for a target. Discord Orb's going to be coming through. Tags coming in. BlossoM going to be suffering the first losses as Undyne finds the hit. Listen, Notori both going to go down for that double kill over to the Zenyatta, building up towards that Transcendence here. 60% for him. MVP Space will be grabbing the first cap.
Nice control here of Undyne's left clicks there to just maximize that damage, meaning that that's going to be the first ultimate that comes online for MVP Space. It's one of the tougher ones to get, and it can shut down so much on these initial cap attempts. Even if BlossoM gets an opening pick with a charge, for example, that Mineral is going to be looking for here, then the Transcendence can save them.
Push up over the top, just going to be sitting on the statue for Sia. Spamming away, trying to find a target. So far, taking Yaki low. Almost goes down, but Mineral in the front line will crumble under the pressure being applied by MVP Space. Take him out, Sia will get pumped out of the mech. And MVP will be able to maintain control and get a nice little stagger here onto the pilot form D.Va. Finishing her off with that right click.
He was so sure he got it, man. He was looking elsewhere. Already looking for more ult charge after he shot that right click. Well, they're going to have the grab here and both support ultimates shortly. So this is probably not going to be where BlossoM flips it. But they still have to commit into a fight and hope they can at least get those support ultimates. It's a big hope, right? It's not realistic, but you're this far behind, especially in terms of ult charge, not even just the 55 here. Got to take a risk.
Rally's about to be up here from both sides. Transcendence to escort here onto the fight. Undyne pops that one out. Grab still going to be held for the side of MVP. BlossoM used theirs, but with Mineral gone, means that they cannot find anything. They need that Reinhardt up in the front, swinging away, catching multiple targets. So that's just going to be a chase back here over towards the spawn. No pin to be found for Oberon. Plenty of poke damage coming down. MVP still going to be holding firmly here with 4 ults.
When you have this many ults, sometimes to get an easy hold, you have to use multiple, and it feels like a trade up for the team that is able to, even though they don't get the cap, trade out ults that way. But when you get one,
nice pick off.
They hold everything, it's much better.
Can this transition into a fight win, though? Rally, I'll bring up everybody. Tuba popping that one. Fuse still going to be holding on to the sound barrier. Undyne now going to be respawning. Getting ready to come back in. We'll hit 99%. Oberon will get taken down. Seems like MVP Space just happy to go ahead and concede the point.
Yeah, remember, like I was alluding to before we saw that pick off there, they only used one ult, right? They're about to have it ready again. So why fight here to then give your opponent an ult advantage? Instead, all you need is the 100. Just look for that better fight, the more efficient fight. And they know there's no Transcendence available. So Notori's going to have to really well time his sound barrier. This could just be an end to the first round.
After the rally would certainly be nice here to get Undyne armored up as he takes a lot of damage. Lip to the side, comes in, finds that hit. Grab locking them in, bomb coming down, not going to pick up, but Fuse comes in on the back end. Gets Illicit taken down, now the sound barrier going to be out. Shatter coming down, flip over the side, going to be catching one, swinging away, trying to take down Yaki. Unable to do so here so far. Now Mineral, too much pressure being applied to him. He will fall. 99% MVP Space looking for that flip to go ahead and take this first round on Busan. With BlossoM suffering these losses, the rally now coming up for MVP. It seems like it's an inevitability here. His lip will also fall here on the backside of the fight. Tuba charging forward, armor up, everyone around him. Gets a pop out there, boops back to Sia as he gets taken out of that mech. The flip nearly coming through. BlossoM buying a little bit of time as they try to maintain control, but the Discord Orbs come in. Mineral gets popped. Now it's a flip back into MVP Space's favor as the OT bar starts ticking away. They cannot tag in. They stop Notori in his tracks. Get few kills there on the back end. Very nicely done. MVP kick things off with a round win on Sanctuary.
It's just, it's hard to point at one good play from MVP Space here, or one player in particular who really carried that round. It's just a really coordinated effort, right? Everyone's on the same page. We're seeing these ults used or held based on that communication, right? That's why they're able to get that, you know, hold with just one ultimate, then all called out to hold your ults, let them take it, let them use their ults. Let's come back with that advantage. And in the past, you know, MVP Space has seen a few different rosters, but, you know, this is the one I feel that is the most decisive of the ones we've seen, and it's very refreshing.
Pushing forward. Out of the 24-hour Norebang, make their way over towards the point.
All Norebangs are 24 hours.
Most of them, but not all of them. You know, there's a few exceptions. But Lip is going to be over onto the Widowmaker here for downtown. Not sure how long he'll be sticking through with this one. Undyne getting tagged up down below half. Bubble coming through from the Zarya, trying to keep him alive, but Lip, even at that distance, spraying away with the left click, will be able to come up with that kill. Headshot in onto Oberon as he dives up top, and this is going to be a very nicely won fight by BlossoM.
It's funny that it's Lip actually who does this and not Ons, but this is the map where you can see the most versatility of compositions, especially outside of Korea. We see tons of Pharah here. In Europe, we see it in North America, and we've seen it a lot in Australia. So this is not a new territory by any means for these two squads, but the MVP Space is going to swap over to trying to use Tracer and Sombra to counter this. Not the easiest way, because there's no hit scan with this. And getting a hack on a good Pharah like Illicit is not going to be easy, so I don't know if this is necessarily the right way.
Yeah, getting up top there to match the Lip as well. Have to just rely on a translocator. Tracer going to be hopeless in that effort. Lip is playing lower over towards the point here at the moment, so could get a jump on him. But
the supports are actually doing a great job of staying alive too. If they die, then MVP Space is a good opportunity, but they cannot be killed. And this is going to force a retreat and a reset for MVP Space.
Push up over the top, Undyne taking that rocket, splash at it. Oh, if this was old Pharah, that Zenyatta would have been gone, but Undyne barely survives with a sliver of HP.
And he was just being greedy. He wanted to get the Transcendence. That's why he was playing so far forward. But MVP Space does not really have a tool to approach this point anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just to get the mech back for Bianca here.
I was going to say, oh man, we're going to get Winston Reinhardt.
No, not in...
Not here,
only in
not
our
yet.
dreams, okay?
We haven't gotten to that point yet. Undyne, he's dead. Jump over to the top here, Oberon, zapping away, looking to build up for that primal range. Is getting tagged up consistently here by Lip, but he looks the wrong way. Yaki comes in from behind, gets that takedown kill onto the Widowmaker and Illicit. Will kill himself in the process of that barrage. Does knock Bianca out of the mech, but the point will be won. MVP Space will regain control.
It doesn't feel like they have, you know, a setup though to when they get this flip where they can hold it easily. You know, they have an EMP and they have, you know, support ultimates plus the primal to stay alive for a longer fight. But BlossoM has smartly switched over Lip to McCree, so they have burst. They also have anti-Sombra measures.
EMP going to be ready. Tuba dumps that one in. Swoon picked off right at the beginning of the fight. Illicit taken down as he swaps over onto the Brigitte. That's what you get. Jump in from Oberon, gets the stomp onto the Tori, finishes him off, and BlossoM will just have to reset and revisit what they want this comp to be. It's really, they might just keep running it though.
Yeah, I think they should, but it's really hard to find the Sombra, right? And that was a nice wraparound from Tuba, maintaining Cloak, preventing Lip from getting that flashbang. But that was a nice setup for the EMP, but now that he doesn't have it, he's going to have to be a little bit more careful about, you know, farming it, because if he's trying to farm the backline and suddenly gets flashbanged, then BlossoM trades up there and has a great opportunity to take the point. Still looking for a very careful harassment here in the backline.
They're going to be coming down, hack there onto Illicit, no shield bash going to be available, and Swoon will go ahead and get taken down as Oberon comes up with a double kill following there onto Lip, making a triple. Finishes them off, and this is just clean fight after clean fight going the way of MVP Space.
I know everyone wants to watch a Tracer in this meta because we never get to see her, but I really want to watch Lip. I want to see where his shots are landing. You know, he's done a decent amount of damage, 75%, but which targets is he choosing? Because he's just not done enough with this McCree, which is the backbone of this.
Push around the back, pulse bomb ready to go, slams that one down, but will not be able to get the stick. The bomb from Bianca takes out the Tori. Finding one, 84% here. MVP Space is getting ready to get control of the lead. Primal Rage used by both of these Winstons. Lead back, Oberon is going to get topped up here. As BlossoM tries to inch their way over onto the point. Deadeye going to be coming out, will not be able to find anything. cancels that one a bit early on. Lip finds that flashbang in, but the sound barrier coming up from Fuse does help Yaki stay alive, but the rest of the team will get taken down. 99% here for MVP Space. The flip comes through. BlossoM at 89. Not much longer here. Oberon's going to be swamping over to the Wrecking Ball.
Now, this is going to be MVP Space looking for a one last-ditch attempt dive to retake this. So shock to me that Yaki's going to stick with this Tracer, actually.
Oh, Oberon stunned up. I don't think he got an opportunity to pop that adaptive shield. Can anybody else tag? And they're trying.
EMP's up for Tuba.
Yeah, Bianca makes his way through. Will get popped out of the mech. Tuba's on the side. Jumps back with the translocator. Pilot form. D.Va here. Will tag in. Fuse going to be eliminated. Flip coming up with that kill. Yaki's on the back end. EMP still available. Bomb coming out from Sia. Looking to pick them up. Got to get out of invisibility.
Nope, not happening. He forgot in the change, changed with permanent stealth.
Oh
you
dear.
You can't contest with invisibility anymore, which is one of the reasons why Sombra was used as a, basically last-minute defense hero in the past, was the ability to cloak and hide in the corner. We saw it mostly on Volskaya and Hanamura. Yep, you are absolutely right, Achilios. Definitely needed to jump out of that one. Well,
yeah.
They did not respond to the comp they were up against very well. It's really reminiscent, actually, of kind of what we just saw with GC Busan Wave on the final map, Route 66, in our previous series. Is you've got to be adaptive. You've got to be able to, on the fly, deal with old metas, old heroes, old styles.
They haven't had to do that until like these last 2 days.
And, the Sombra wasn't really very strong against what BlossoM was running.
Well, here we go. We'll just be matched again back over to the 3-3 like we saw in the beginning of Sanctuary, and soon could be the first one taken down as Oberon comes up with the kill. More impacts coming in. Tuba gets that stun up, shipped in onto Illicit's head, taking him out with the mace. And MVP Space do look quite good again here at the beginning of the round.
Yeah. You can see BlossoM matches ult charge at least, so it's not the worst fight they could have ever taken. But now maybe Space is going to have to split up into two groups, as you can see them doing here. Left side and right side being controlled means they know the approach. Usually it's going to be the left side. They actually come from below. MVP Space does not commit to the fight.
Yeah, they almost flipped this. Nearly getting that one in their grasp here. Tuba well into the team here. Mashes up, tries to take down Illicit. Unable to kill him off so far, but Mineral will be the first one to get dropped. Now Lip going to be going down as well. Very nicely done from MVP. Was almost a botch on the situation, but they are able to recontest. They keep control, and they will get a nice stagger onto Sia.
I actually really like how they approached that. They put Tuba in first, put the bubble on him, and then he was able to, obviously just slam through, heal himself up with his auto attacks while keeping everyone healed up. They didn't have to use support ultimates there. Very risky way to do it, because if he had been picked before he could have gotten those heals off, then BlossoM has the point retaken.
Yep.
Risk pays off.
Sun coming in, Oberon going to go forward, pops out that primal range. They're focusing him down. You can see his arm dropping, but Tuba does alleviate some of that pressure, getting rid of Illicit. Yaki pushing forward, 100 energy. Have to be fearing this Zarya if you are BlossoM. Graviton Surge online, limped nearly to one of his own. Transcendence, however, is not there for MVP.
Exactly. They know they have the support advantage, so they should be able to stagger these to get a flip.
Graviton coming down, locks them all up. Transcendence is out from Swoon. Bomb into the front. Mineral's going to be the one getting taken down. Despite having that Transcendence, it's still going to cost them in the long run, and MVP can keep this grasp here on the point.
They probably should have waited for the last 5% of Dotori's sound barrier there. I called out they had both because they virtually did. They basically did, but unfortunately the deaths come through right before he has it. Now they just kind of have to take a haphazard fight.
Yeah, push in from behind here. That underpass swings away. Mineral's going to be gone. Shatter available, pushing around the corner, trying to get that kill. Fire strike's good, takes out Tuba. Bianca's out of the mech. Seems like this should be a surefire flip from BlossoM as they go ahead and get this point out from MVP Space's Vice Grip.
MVP Space does the same thing they did, though, on our first point, which is back away, don't commit your ultimates, allow them to flip it, know that they, this time you're the ones with the support ultimates in your hands, because Dotori, sound barrier to get in there, so you don't have to worry about tracking that anymore. All you have to do is hit a big grab here, and you feel like you're guaranteed to win this first map.
Have the primal as well. Keep everybody topped up. Yeah, Oberon, there we go. Will have to pop and took a lot of damage on the entrance. Shatter going to be coming down, finds one. Bubble out, keeps Tuba alive for a little bit longer. Transcendence there from Undyne as well. So just going to be swinging away, rally up, trying to keep everybody topped up. Sound barrier through from Fuse. Shield's going to start chipping away. now going to be gone. Yaki still holding on to the grab. Now we'll toss it out, finds them here on the staircase, trying to burn them down. They need the kills, and so far will not be finding them. BlossoM holding on for a little bit longer. Mineral goes low, gets taken down. Exchange on the main tanks as Oberon is taken out as well. Listen still going to be swinging away. Armor Packs coming through, trying to save his teammate in the back line. Yaki is able to find Swoon, but Alyssa comes back in for a little bit of vengeance. Armor Pack through, keeps the Tori alive and in the mix, and nearly has that sound barrier up. Wall going to be dropping. Bianca comes up with two. Alyssa and Sia going to be taken down. MVP will be able to flip this despite how damn good it was looking for BlossoM. Now OT starting to tick away. BlossoM trying to make their way back in, but Mineral will get taken out. And there you have it, MVP get the victory here on Busan.
It was the very first, or rather, it was very much the first map in the series, but it was a very close first map in this series, and a lot of it came down to the Brigitte players in this, just having the ability to live and then burst heal the front line. In that grab there, that was after the Transcends, Yaki waited, stayed alive there, waited until after Transcend was there to have the grab. One of the reasons why it didn't actually end up getting the team wipe initially there for MVP space was because the heals were coming through from Illicit. He had the burst there, and everyone stayed topped off. So really cool plays by BlossoM on the second map there, the city center, where they were running a slightly different composition, forcing MVP space to flex. That's one of the things that's becoming more and more relevant, actually, as the groups sort of drag on, is that we're seeing more teams try something that we haven't really seen yet, right? A lot of the comps we've seen tried and failed that were non-3-3s were ones we'd seen before, but the ones we haven't seen so much of, those are actually kind of tripping teams up a little bit. People are starting to pull out these secret strategies, and it does mean that maybe we underrated BlossoM because they do have this other playstyle they can run, and it does give you that kind of trump card. And it was the patches start to come out and the meta shifts a little bit. Maybe that is one of the reasons why they end up finishing the group higher than we would have thought. Doesn't get them this first map, but it's something to think about.
Well, BlossoM keeping it pretty competitive here throughout that run of Busan, all 3 rounds being seen. And I mean, especially compared to MVP's start versus WGS Armament, where it was back-to-back 100-0 victories on Achilios, this was definitely a lot closer for them. They still pick up that win. It means that BlossoM will have their pick of the litter when it comes down to hybrid, and it's only a 2-map litter. It's not very many to choose from. So see where they want to go, Hollywood or Numbani. But and whether or not we're going to have swaps.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to be based on whether On sits down in the chair right now. Obviously, both teams are doing basically a virtual tactical pause here, Apex style. We saw this a lot back in the Apex days where the teams would actually literally take a timeout.
Yep.
And in this case, we are going to have a player swap, I imagine. So, they're kind of using that extra time to talk things out for a little bit. Atune in the background there. It seemed like he was in a good mood. I'm hoping we get to see a little bit of him if the meta does slightly start shifting to where we see these more DPS-based compositions.
One day it would be good to have Atune back into the mix, formerly of, was it LW Red?
Yes.
Where he had kicked off.
Or Afrika Red, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was Afrika Red. Sorry.
Back with Tidal.
Red squad, yeah. So, Afrika Red. And Atune really made a name for himself as being a pretty fantastic hit scan player. McCree, a big one for him.
You and I got to cast his first televised match against Saya player.
Ooh.
If you remember, that was really fun.
Yeah, I don't remember who Saya played. Well, we got some more fan signs here, more moving parts. Trying to level them up as we go along day to day. Just a BlossoM fan.
Yeah, this is BlossoM win. Yomungtang parts down there. Guy she brought to the studio might not.
Yeah, he might not appreciate that.
He might not appreciate it. Says everything according to plan. MVP win.
Okay, I didn't see the dots on the forehead there. I thought it was not Zenyatta. I thought it was wearing like a luchador mask.
I think that's the idea. It's like Zenyatta wearing a luchador mask.
Could be.
No. Big fans here for MVP space again.
Okay, well, we're getting that music.
No substitutions, it appears.
Yeah, it seems like they will be sticking through. Yeah, Lip is still going to be on the stage. So no subs to be seen yet.
All right. Well, that kind of leans towards Nubani a little bit to me.
Yeah. No chance for a Widow on the streets phase of Hollywood.
Yeah, definitely true. I mean, no one's really running Widow on the streets phase of Hollywood, but that's where it was historically always, where Ons would be subbed in if he was ever out, which was pretty rare. Let's find out.
Okay.
So still Hollywood.
Okay, so putting some decent faith here into Lip. He was playing a pretty good Widowmaker.
He also played a very good McCree, and McCree is very powerful on Hollywood A defense, where you set up a position where it's difficult for the attacking team to break through and hit that McCree, and then if you don't get an opening pick, the McCree is basically invulnerable and will do massive burst damage with discordant targets. So I'm into it. I could get behind it.
All right. Space fans are alive and well at the moment. And we'll be having their team kicking off the defense. You're talking about McCree, Yaki, as well. Another very good McCree player. We'll be starting things off here with the Orisa. So not going to have the Junkrat in the mix, not going to be going for the Roadhog, so this will just be solo DPS McCree.
Looks like they want to have the Brigida for better safety against potential dive heroes. The Winston that's been more popular recently. So far, we do see that Winston start here with triple support. So a bit of an odd attack here. Once again, BlossoM changing it up though.
Shifting around a little bit.
I mean, this could just be the scout, but
I believe so.
It would be super odd to see. Okay, this makes more sense. I was gonna say it would be super odd to see a Sombra in this mix or anything like that. But
still more swaps coming in. Swoon's not going to be over onto the Hog, but it will be this Hanzo Pharah.
Yeah, this is more common. O2 loves to run this on attack.
Yeah, we're seeing this getting picked up a little bit more as of late. Not playing in the cafe, just going to be in onto the point here with this barrier. Shots coming down in above and behind. Getting a couple tags onto Oberon, but no meaningful damage found yet.
You know what's funny about this is they're doing it into a McCree.
Yeah.
But the McCree is not able to get consistent line of sight.
So far he is not, but Lip will get taken down. Bianca will push forward to get the kill there. Rez going to be drawn out. Tori bringing him back into the mix. He's just going to be sitting in underneath. Gets a nice tag there, almost finishes off the Tori, and Bianca yet again is going to be there to scoop up the kill. Flashbang forward, Yaki taking a couple rockets, however, will have to peel back, keeps himself alive. In the meantime, Undyne goes forward, gets a kill onto Lip. Now Mineral gone. BlossoM, his first attempt at the attack, not going to be working out in their favor. They get the drag back on the Halt, and Undyne has a shot.
I wonder if they'll just swap here, honestly. If you continue to run this, you're running a lot of risk of just getting a full health. If you swap now, you've still got a good shot if this next push doesn't work. They're going to stick with it, though. Yaki did all of his damage to the tank line there, shutting down Mineral and Sia. So that means that Illicit does have the barrage ready. He did live through that fight.
They have barrage, and they have the Dragon Strike. This is the combo.
Yep. Draw them out with the Dragon Strike, then barrage them. That's the idea.
Throwing it around the back here. Tuba going to get locked up. Transcendence going to be coming down. Barely keeps him alive. And now no Transcendence for this barrage. Exactly. Could get into a good position. Could melt them down. Nano Blue's going to be used. The defense matrix not going to be there. Bianca goes ahead. Dumps out that bomb.
But Yaki comes up big.
But Yaki comes in. Gets rid of Illicit.
That's so huge. That was absolutely huge. If he doesn't get that kill, then that barrage is massive because Bianca's DMAC from his self-destruct. Huge kill there.
Yeah, had the window, but it was good counterplay. Good identification here from MVP, knowing their weaknesses and acting accordingly. Make sure that they still can maintain control here. 1.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Lip finds the snipe there. Yaki gonna get taken down. No res available here, and now Nose and Yada. Undyne gonna fall. Primal range from Mineral, maybe opening things up. Stormero's coming down. Just looking to break the barrier. Will be able to do so. Fuse as well. Going to get taken out now. There's going to be no supports in the mix. No front line tank here. As Bianca gets taken down as well. And that will be the cap onto A. So decent little time buy coming through for MVP. Swaps will come out as they move back over onto the Zarya here for Yaki.
They just kept the Hanzo alive, right? Lip was able to do so much consistent damage there in the longer fight. And getting that kill onto Yaki was really what opened things up with the Sonic Arrow of all things, but that's all you need. and then you can sustain through that fight. However, they're going to stick with this, moving through the streets phase, because they have the ult advantage right now, knowing MVP is just swap. They have a decent time bank, so I think this is actually fine.
This kind of makes me wonder if MVP was expecting to have a swap come through.
They're going to dive in.
Be surprised. I mean, yeah, Tupa goes way far in. Alyssa comes in from behind, gets that shot. Dragon Strike to go ahead and open up the rest of the gateway here. So Tupa just kind of hinting forward a little bit, I guess we could say.
You know, it's weird to say this, but MVP Space just played to their weaknesses with this. Their comp cannot charge into a comp that has range consistent damage like that and hope to find success. That was basically reliant on the surprise factor and nothing else.
You can shorten the gap between the teams, which is typically what you want to do with a 3-3, but when you have a Pharah, it doesn't work out as well.
And Hanzo, who can jump back, like reworked Hanzo's like, I'm out of here, I'm also blowing you up now.
Yeah.
What are you doing? They're
trying to play to the X-axis, so the Y-axis is the one that's screwing them right now.
Yeah, very well said.
So Illicit still just going to be holding on to this barrage. Waiting for an opportunity. Nano's going to be coming down. Defense Matrix is there, and he is just going to die. Okay, I think it might be time to swap. So you see, when the Y-axis comes down to the level of the X-axis, it doesn't work out.
Well, I mean, that was pretty telegraphed too, right? Like,
yeah.
He nanoed him way too early.
As soon as you know a nano on a Pharah who has not been tagged yet, you know exactly what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, I mean, that was... He wasn't even in position when the nano came down, so it was like, then you feel like you're on a clock to use the barrage so you don't waste the nano. But it will be time to swap, as you very, easily, I would say, predicted here. And it's not going to be working out anymore. I like this flank coming from behind, might trip them up. Because now BlossoM's like way in no man's land. MVP Space should be able to collapse on this now pretty easily.
Wrapping around the back, get their way over onto the cart, drop down from MVP. They'll be able to join into the front, and Lip's going to get taken down here off the bat. Yaki can just go ahead and hold on to that Graviton Surge, go back up to the choke, and just try to hold BlossoM off here right at the entrance to the streets.
Sia was on a bad spot there, and I thought Yaki would grab for sure, but they knew...
Go for the Superman?
He might.
Oh, never mind.
They knew that, he was going to be able to grab, but they also knew that because everyone was caught into two groups, basically, they didn't need to. So they get to hold this and now use it to potentially control this choke.
Push forward. Grab's still going to be held, building up that energy. Bomb into the back. Sia for a pick-off, not going to be able to find it, and everybody's just going to be dying around him. And he himself does get taken down by Yaki in the end. Mineral, primal range, not going to net them any distance here. He'll just die. And it'll start looking very, very grim with 25 seconds remaining. BlossoM, can they make their way back to the cart? They nearly have a rally and a transcendence, but outside of that, not a whole lot to talk about.
I mean, even if they had all 6 ultimates, that wouldn't be easy because they have to go through a choke. Yaki's trying to make sure they're not flanking through the inside. He confirms. Sia's way too far away.
Yeah, Alyssa's going to be down. Transcendence now going to be coming out, which means that he can just hold the grab and use it once that Zen ult is gone. Hits it into the wall, locking him up. Mineral going to get taken down. No one can get close to the cart. They barely, well, as I say that, they do get damn close to the cart, but they can't get it in time.
Sure. I mean, when you feel the need to...
Oh man, Wolf's flustered now.
When you feel, when people are, or rather when teams are, people are teams too. When you feel, God, it's just falling apart here.
This is derailed.
Look, when you're running Pharah,
yes,
past A, you better be hoping that that big barrage is not just a big barrage, it's massive, and it guarantees you control of the chokes coming out of this, coming out of the entrance there near where point B is. Because if you fail the first attempt, your opponent will always have grab for that next fight, and they're going to have the choke point as well. So they took a risk, and unfortunately, the super telegraphed nano into barrage was shut down by Defense Matrix, which is quite a powerful ability. I'm sorry. You're laughing. I know, it's quite powerful.
I'm just thinking, like, if the comms were just like, how did they know? I can't believe they figured
must
this
be
out.
hacking.
Oh. They're scripting. There's no way they could have seen this coming. Oh, dear.
But then you've given the control of the choke, right?
I don't think I've ever seen that the Nano Pharah really work in pro play.
I mean, there have been moments, but It's a risk, you know. If you switch immediately while they're swapping too, guess what? You're started even ult charge, you've got a better chance of fighting your way through a choke, so.
Well, on the push, Yaki showing us the Tracer here for the moment.
Yeah, I think expecting Lip to be on McCree again, like we were alluding to earlier, and hoping that they can dive and break him down. That's why Tuba is going to be joining on McCree. Now, he's just swapped, so it's not happening yet. They've already shown the Tracer, but now he's back. The target here is going to be the McCree. The problem is that, well, actually, yeah, I was going to say the problem is that could be res, but in fact, they did not bring the Mercy, so that is not true.
Yeah. They can take him down. That's going to be huge. Dive into the cafe. A lot of damage already here onto Oberon. See him playing forward. Comes up with the kill. Lip gets fused at the same time. This is just going to be spamming out here with these nades. It's a little bit of damage from Yaki. Almost times out that Sentry charge pretty well, but Swoon is able to scoop up the kill in the end anyway.
Often when you run the Junkrat variation of this, you bring the Mercy because damage boost Junkrat is crazy. It builds insanely fast rip tires, but also because you want to res the Orisa. You know, back when it was dive versus this, we saw that all the time. But they couldn't have known it was going to be dive, so I understand not bringing it. Either way, Lip carries, like they don't need it. He actually does great here. And now MVP Space is hoping for another play here, another setup. Yaki flanking.
Back around these pillars here. Lip's going to find Undyne, and now fuse both supports. They weren't expecting the McCree here on this flank.
Yeah, they didn't know where he was.
Beautifully done. Still in a position to use that Deadeye should he need to. Soon will get taken down. Oberon gone. Tuba trying to scoop up the kills here. With 3, pulse bomb in. Gets a break there on the CS mech. Tuba barely staying alive as they try to make their way in onto the point, but Mineral is still going to be postured up with that barrier. Lip, the dash not going to connect. One more right click to finish him off. And just to get him, Tuba taking him down, putting the team on his back, and opening up point A here for MVP Space.
Yeah, this is really similar to what happened with Decal last week, where they were losing the fight, but dash resets are incredibly powerful when your comp starts to fall apart. Speaking of which.
How many dashes did he just use? This is like 4 in a row.
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
This is what Tuba, you know, made himself famous on, was the Genji. I mean, for better and for worse.
Yes.
He did have a couple air blades where he just kind of fat-fingered Q and didn't have any targets nearby.
So look at this, though. Are they going to swap? No. The big risk with this is similar to the Pharah earlier. If they fail this fight, Lip's going to be sitting at 60% or more of a grab, and then they can control the choke. So this fight has to be successful, or it is going to come back to bite them.
Well, it's already looking pretty good. It's going to get taken down. Oberon going forward, finds that kill. Sia dumping a bomb in from behind. Will not find a pick off. Hard still. Going to be halted here for the moment as the tanks try to play forward. Right click's coming in, though. Sia and Mineral both going to get taken down, and Tuba fearlessly pushing forward. He can't deflect that Zarya beam, but he's still got the healing here to back him up. BlossoM will retreat all the way back into the studio.
It's
funny.
funny.
MVP Space, I mean, they got 4 ultimates nearly online now.
It's funny how basically Brigitte and Genji are mortal enemies, but they're so good in conjunction with each other for that first armor. They gotta tag this.
Bomb's going to be coming through. Mineral makes his way over onto the cart. Dragonblade going to be coming in. Tuba as well going to be receiving that sound barrier to help him push forward and fearlessly swipe away. Comes up with that kill there onto Lip. The Tory going to get taken down, and the cart will roll in. MVP Space pick up the victory here on Hollywood pretty concisely, and now we move up 2-0 in the series.
That Genji guy, man, you know, we don't see him too much these days, but the potential against a team that has squishy targets is super high with getting the dash resets. It was actually really cool to see Lip hide in the room there because he knew they were flanking. They've been flanking with Tracer on the left side and then going for the dive. When they got there, they didn't know where he was. Undyne was the only person who didn't commit in because he was the only hero that doesn't have mobility, right? And then Lip's like, okay, you're the first one to die. You don't know where I am. And you're out in the open with no protection. Everyone's already used their cooldowns. Some cool stuff there, decision-making wise from BlossoM on the defense. But on the attack, however, their Pharah pick there and their continued usage of it didn't net them enough distance. MVP Space doesn't win the game off of that Dragonblade and that push against a completion, right? Or against a team that had a better time bank, or sorry, just pushed it further, right? A better, I don't know, push. Distance, yeah. And you know, so it looks great for Space here. It looks like a one-sided match, but it was really just because they had such a good defense rather than their offense that netted them that victory. And obviously that massive play by Tuba. We expected this series to be pretty one-sided. At the end of the day, it looks like it probably will be if BlossoM can't really turn it on.
There is hope, though. I mean, you know, BlossoM was pretty close. You know, there was a lot of back and forth. BlossoM was able to pick up a round. You know, MVP do get that victory in the end, but they at least have been showing way more signs of life than they did versus O2. So I think that it's maybe a little too early to write them off, but they have to win here. You know, they have to put some wins on the board if they want to take this series. They have to do a reverse sweep. So the odds are certainly stacked against them. But I think that at least it's not going to be a wash for them for the rest of the series, even if they do lose. I think that it will be more competitive than we've seen from them so far.
Yeah, the thing about BlossoM is they're not actually fighting for a win against MVP space. They're not even fighting for against MVP space to get playoffs. They're actually fighting against the bottom teams. Getting wins at all is actually massive for them.
Yeah, absolutely huge. But guys, that's half the series gone, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the rest of it in just a few.